Hello, welcome. Let's get right to it. This is episode 22 of the PROi series. And before we get into it, I'm going to... Oh man, still no bucket. I was previously calling this the PVM Rush on Iron. I've since decided to change the name of the series actually. I'm going to be instead calling it the Practical Roadmap to Old School Iron Man. So it's still PROi, Practical Roadmap to Old School Iron Man. Yeah, so I think it reflects the content and the style and the actual like what it is we're doing in this series a little bit more. This is a long form, full on progression, everything from the minor grinds. It's not like PVM focused, so that's why I wanted to like outline the entire journey, outline the entire, and that is what is happening in this, right? So it will also correspond with the GitHub guide that I'm writing and reworking. I think that's a better title for the website. Practical roadmap to Iron, old school Iron. So anyway, what have we done since? So basically nothing. So we're at 37 days, 12 hours. After the last clip or the last episode, I was in the Twilight dungeon, killing frost crabs. Since then, all I've done is a farm run. I did a spore kill, didn't get the bucket. I went and stocked up my kingdom, and then I ran down here, and now we're doing regicide. So we're like deep into the dungeon, and yeah, so we're gonna be like powering through to sote. So goals, yeah, these are the goals. Oh, I'll just give a quick recap of the quest. So King Lathis of Ardone asked us to kill his brother Tyrus. His brother Tyrus is actually located in this elven woodland. And after we passed the underground pass, and came here, we were to be met with a elf who was going to help us, except that elf got jumped by a couple of other elves, and those elves are, we actually don't know their motivations right now. They're part of this crew called, or this crew under Lord Iorwerth, and then there's actually some rebel elves and Lord Iorwerth's elves. So we're now in contact with Lord Iorwerth's elves. We're not sure if these are the good guys or if, you know, the original elf that we were supposed to meet who got killed was the good guy. So I think we're dead at this point. Seriously might be dead at this point, dude. Oh my god. I'm dead. Boy. I think we'll have to go through the traverse. Yeah, we'll have to go through the pass again. Oh my god, I should have brought my Ibn staff. I could have recharged it. It's funny how, like, we're taking no obstacle damage now. Oh my god, we have to go through the underground pass again. Ah, that sucks, bro. Alright, we're back and we're gonna head on over to the underground pass. However, I just realized I can make myself some stamp pots, so let's do that actually. Oh my god, I didn't bring a tinderbox. Shoot, dude. Can I get a tinderbox from the general store over there? Alright, so we've blasted their base. Luckily we had the tinderbox, like we could get the tinderbox from the general store over there, thankfully, so. We're now heading back to King Lathis and tell him of the news. But I imagine the OG elves will kind of stop us on the way, it looks like. Yeah, they did. Wow, so King Lathis is actually looking to summon the Dark Lord, which is Zamorak. And he worked with Lord Aerith to, you know, get rid of his brother, and I guess his brother was good? Let's do roving elves now. So the elf was first distrustful of us, but because we told him we know of Glariel, he's like, okay, sure, you know what, I trust you, but because you moved her tomb, you'll need to reconsecrate the, you know, you gotta reconsecrate her new resting place. So now we're gonna like do that for him. Oops, I gotta hop to a PvP world. So the elf blessed the consecration seed, and she's asked us to plant the seed in Glariel's new resting spot, which is under the waterfall, right? Yeah, roving elves is like woo, way easier compared to the other quests. As a kid, I used to think roving elves was a little bit harder because I think I would path to it in a different way. It's through here. I think this path becomes open after Regicide, so I would go through here, and yeah, I would find it a little bit more annoying. Like, I think I remember taking that path. There's more agility checks that way, so you would, yeah, it would just, I just remember this quest being a little bit harder, but this is like really easy. Actually, no, I'm gonna go with the bow because we need to train ranged with that bow for a little while in order to get our range up so that we can wield Bofa. Alright, we're heading into Mourner's End Part 1. Morning's End Part 1. So the God Wars happened. Saren was lost to the God Wars. And with that power vacuum, Lord Aurith and the Elven Resistance kind of like wanted to battle over Prif. And backstory and moved east. So yeah, there was like a power vacuum. Prif was lost as well, and then yeah, it's pretty much what's going on here. So we're looking to infiltrate the Mourners, and we first stole a Mourner top and all their clothing. Oh man, this is gonna be a process, dude. I remember when this quest first came out, everybody would like run around with this thing. And I would go like, what the hell is this thing? It looks so cool to me. It's crazy how like intricate and I don't know, it feels very like super cool game design. How they made this. It's so unique and just, I don't know, so niche and unique. Way in the beginning when we were trying to figure out the dyed sheep, or we didn't know it was dyed at the time, but then we were trying to figure out the mystery of those sheep, but it turns out we, in the future, are the people who, you know, fuck the sheep up, so it's, yeah, pretty cool. Okay. So another thing these mourners do is because they fake the plague, they can blame people who are missing that they've fallen victim of the plague. So what they do is instead they kidnap those victims and have them work the mines in the cave below. Pretty dark stuff. So I was mentioning earlier how they kind of fake the plague and kidnap people. So the way they do this is they kind of poison people, and we've kind of made that poison here. They poison people, they get them sick, and then they're like, oh, this person's diseased by the plague, and then they kind of haul them off. So that's how they get the miners down there. And the miners are in the cave to, I think they're looking to get to the death altar. There's a death altar down there, right? So either that or they're trying to summon Saren. We don't know that yet though. We haven't like in terms of the quest storyline, we don't know that yet. Oh cool, so that's Morning End Part 1. I don't know why I refer to these quests as Mourner's End Part 1 and Part 2. Alrighty, so we're gonna begin Morning's End Part 2 now. Take a little bit of break and come back later. Take care. Bye. Oh, another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean up my bank. It's just way too messy, so take a second for that. Another good advantage of the house teleport in Hosidius is actually gives you faster access to this contract. To the Mahogany Home contract, the south of Hosidius contract? Yeah, for sure. Alright, so housekeeping done. I think now we can start with the quest, or continue with the quest. Oh my god. I made a huge mistake. I dropped my freaking crystal teleport seed. I got rid of that while I was cleaning up the bank. It's a big problem, dude. Alright, so remember how these guys have abducted people and forced them to mine? One of the crews have gone missing, and now we're going to investigate. Okay, so we managed to find the missing team, and the missing team has apparently found the Temple of Light. We explored the Temple of Light a little bit. We managed to find a crystal. We took a piece of it with our chisel. Now we're going to show it to Erwin. Alright, so the crystal piece we found was blackened and decayed. Lunid was able to like recharge it up for us, so now we have to place it back, it looks like. Alright, so we're going to begin our first real trek into the Temple of Light with the puzzle part. It's very annoying, so see how it goes. This quest must have really sucked without the quest helper plugin. I mean, it's one thing doing it without a guide at all. Like, those people are just truly masters. But the people who use a guide, right, like a text-based guide on this quest, would have been really tough to follow along, because then you would have to find a place to, like, safe space to, like, you know, do your thing, and then you would have to read the guide, find another, like, move forward, then find another place to sit, and be safe from the shadows, read a little bit more, rinse, repeat sort of thing, you know? It would have been really, really tough. Yeah, so like in addition to like doing the puzzle itself, like you have to dodge the shadows and you have to run. You have to run in a certain way so that you don't deplete all your energy, then you have to pray, and it's like really, really crazy. Alright, so at the end of the tunnel we found a dwarf. This dwarf is friends with Clank. Clank is that guy in the underground pass that made us those gauntlets, remember way back in the day? He's like, there's actually another easier way to enter this temple through a backdoor method. So they have a tunnel to this place. And he's asked us a list of items to get. Oh my god, that's a huge list. What the hell? In order for him to give us the death talisman. So he's... yeah. Okay. Alright, yeah, this is for another day. I will come back later. Alright, take care, bye-bye. Alright, we back, and I'm gonna go to grabbing the items on the list. That. Oh my god, I think I made a huge mistake, dude. Oh my god. I forgot to freaking unlock the door. I forgot to unlock the thing, man. Well, this way, we don't have to use the mourner outfit, at least. So, And that might actually be better, because otherwise I don't think I could have fit everything. Maybe I'm just telling myself that, but no. I think that might be the way to go. So yeah, I think I'm gonna pause it here. We'll pick it up next time. Alright, take care, bye-bye. Alright, we're back, and we wanted to drop off the items, right? So... okay, so now he's given us the death talisman. We can access the death altar. Like, I'm not sure why the death altar is at the end of the Temple of Light. That's kind of weird in my opinion. But the death altar was what cleansed the crystal, and then we placed the crystal over there just now, and then I'm gonna tell the news to Erwin. I've repaired the safeguards on the Temple of Light. Got an agility level, wow. Now we can start Song of the Elves, let's go baby. Oh, so we're gonna go to Edmund, which is like a huge throwback. I think he was the first quest giver for this entire chain of quests. Alright, so I think we got all the items now. And actually, Tears of Cthulhu is available, so let's just do that. Oh, smash the PB, let's go. Nice. 51 or 51 RC. Let's get a move on with Soto. Interesting. So it's like a complete throwback to a series where Elena has been captured and Edmund is asking for help to retrieve his daughter. I forgot what the first series in the quest was. I know the second one was Biohazard. Was it Plague City, the first one? I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of a good throwback to the original quest. Alright, so we're going to infiltrate the castle, and in order to do that, we made a disguise. So we're kind of look like the Ardougne Knights now. I swear one of the dialogue lines, when we were interacting with Elena just now, in the prison, she says, "Do you have a plan for us escaping?" And our character is like, not really, I just kind of make it up as I go along. I could swear that originally when she was captured by the Mourners in West Ardougne in the first quest, our character says the same thing back then. That's nice nostalgia there. Alright, so after we helped Elena escape, we found out that she started the Ardougne Resistance, and she's looking for us to kind of undermine the king. And she's like, the way you can do that is by pretending you are like a Knight of Ardougne or a Mourner, and you're doing like you're causing a ruckus. So yeah, we're imposing more taxes on behalf of the king, we're burning shit on behalf of the king, and people are gonna like begin to hate the king. Alright, so the revolution has begun. Wait, what? His father was Lord Sinclair. When King Arthur and his knights arrived in our lands, my father granted them the castle of Camelot, ousting the loyal subject that previously lived there. And the previous subjects of that castle were the Sinclair family. After we did that quest, remember? Because the Sinclairs, right? I forget if they killed their father or their grandfather. I think it was their father they killed. So this guy might be the sibling of the Sinclairs. So King Lathis is like a total Zamrak worshipper, right? And these guys are like, oh yeah, actually we're Zamrak worshippers too. We want to like summon Zamrak and we can like buddy up with him and take over the world sort of thing, right? And King Lathis is like, okay, sure. But they were deceiving him. They actually didn't want to summon Zamrak, they wanted to summon Siren. So now they're kind of like going to the rebels, like, yo, bro, actually, we want to summon Siren, we worship the same god as you, like, let's be bros or something. So Baxtorian was actually the king of the elves back then, and he was like the rightful ruler of Prif, but Lord Aerith took over Prif. Oh wow, he came alive. Holy smokes. I think we'll pick this up tomorrow. I am getting a little bit sleepy, getting kind of late. But yeah, making good progress. Alright, take care. Bye. Okay, we're back. And we were doing Song of the Elves. Alright, so a little bit backstory about the elves. Elves used to be without a god before. They lived on some plane, I think it was called Thedrine or something like that. Saren came before them, they fell in love with her, or with them. She became their god. One thing she found was these elves, while they have larger lifespans than humans, they were still too short. So she would get very sad whenever they would die. One of the deaths particularly hit her hard. And that's all we know right now, because each seal unlocks a piece of knowledge. So in order to expand their lifespans, Saren gave a part of herself to the elves. And the way she did that is through song. She transmitted a part of her being through song to the elves, to each elf actually, which made their lifespan way longer than usual, even compared to the regular lifespan that elves typically have a longer lifespan anyway, but then she made it like very long, into the thousands of years. So that was the last knowledge fragment that we got. Okay, so the next knowledge fragment is actually really interesting. What happened was when she transmitted a piece of herself through the song, right? And the song was referred to as the Song of Creation, by the way. Now what happened was the elves it was as much a blessing as a curse, because if the elves strayed too far away from Siren, they would be in great pain. So basically they were kind of like bound to Siren. And this was like not the effect that she wanted, so she wanted to fix her mistake. Alright, so remember how the ancient elves were on this separate plane called Thedrian? I'm sure I'm butchering the name, but when I say separate, I mean it wasn't in Gilnor. So Saren came before them at some point on that separate plane. She bounded the elves to her unintentionally. At some point later, another powerful being, I suspect it was Guthix, came to that plane and it's like, yo, come with me to another plane, and there's all sorts of power in that other plane. And yeah, so Saren's like, okay, you know what? I'm out of options. I will go with you to that other plane. I suspect that other plane was Gilnor, so Guthix brought him here. Yeah, so the new plane that they went to was Gilnor. And they made a crystal city in Gilnor, which is Prif. However, she still had not found the cure to the quote-unquote curse of the binding of the elves. So then she began to look on this world on how to fix that. Okay, so actually it took a whole millennia of her being on Gilnor for her to find a potential cure, which actually wasn't a cure. So she managed to find this dark energy, and she's like, I'm of light. This dark energy will nullify and kind of, neutralize my being, and break the curse, break the binding. But then she's like, yeah, that's not what happened. And that's all that fragment kind of imparted to us. We'll see what happens. But another thing is, I'm wondering what that dark energy was, right? So she did say she found it near her homeland, which was Prif. I imagine it, like, could it be the underground pass? Like, there's dark energy in the underground pass, right? Another thing to note is Iben is not the source of the dark energy. He's actually just somebody who got twisted by that witch that lives in the underground pass. So, like, she used that dark energy to kind of make him into what he is. So that dark energy in the underground pass, I'm wondering if that's what Saren is referring to. I guess we'll see. So quick summary of the last knowledge seal. Saren created a fragment of herself composed of darkness. So Saren had, while she was a being of light, there was a little bit of darkness within Saren. She took that darkness, made it into a fragment called the Fragment of Saren. That Fragment of Saren lives within the Temple of Light, which is what Lord Aerith is trying to free. Saren was hoping that fragment, along with her, the elves would be binded to both, and because now you have the darkness, it would neutralize the curse, neutralize the binding of the elves. That wasn't the case. The elves were still purely binded to Saren, not the fragment, so it didn't work. But yeah, so there's this fragment that lives within the Temple of Light. We will, I guess, try to see what's up there. Alright, so the Orb of Light is taken by Lord Aerith, and that Orb of Light can be used inside the Temple of Light to free the Fragment of Saren. Fragment of Saren's bad, we need to stop him. Oh wow, we got the Orb of Light, holy. Alright, so Lord Aerith led an attack to get the Orb of Light back. He succeeded. Now what he's going to do is he's going to attack the one way to get into the Temple of Light, because we sealed the other way, but there is that way through the underground pass. So we anticipate that he's going to be using the underground pass to make his way into the Temple of Light. We will intercept him there, so that's the plan right now. And in order to do that, we need to full strength, because Lord Aerith is really powerful. There's still 2 more clans that we need to find. So we've been on the side kind of finding some clans to help fortify or help the city get stronger. we've managed to find them all, but we are still missing 2, so. Alright, so we got this entire crew here, defending the tunnel, defending the entrance to the Temple of Light. Uh-oh. Freed her. Okay, I can't take this fight right now. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of research, and I'll come back in a second. Alright, take it. Alright, I think I have an idea. We're going to use anglers, so let's do that. I'm also going to buy a Farseer helm. It's going to give us a tiny bit more bonus, and we need all the bonus we can get right now. I think this inventory would be a good shot at, like, getting it. Especially the anglers, it's just, you know, like, I was worried for a second when I was like, wait, if I use manta rays, it's gonna be tough to, like, I'll be wasting food because there might be times, like, so apparently Saren can hit us at 95, right? So I was like, if I'm like 90 HP and I have to use a manta ray, that's kind of shitty. But now with anglers, right, if I'm 90 HP, I can easily use that, and then the overflow in HP is gonna come in handy down the line. Oh, I'm not on a fucking PvP world. I'm out of food. I gotta get out of here. Okay. Bit of a learning experience. Alright, I'm gonna review the footage and see what's up. Alright, catch you later. Alright, so I reviewed the footage, and the fundamental issue is the angler's not overhealing. That's the entire reason why I brought anglers, and the entire reason why I thought it was possible. I even made a comment prior to going there. I was like, yeah, I'm not bringing manta rays because if you eat a manta ray at like 90 HP, you're wasting all that manta ray's healing, right? That's essentially what was happening this fight. I thought anglers would overheal you. They don't overheal you. So anglers are out. This inventory setup does not work. It's impossible. What are the options then? So the other way is very simple. It's a cheesy method, but it's not too bad. And you would use cave nightshades and phoenix necklaces. That's the standard quote-unquote way of doing this early without bruise. I'm gonna do some final checks I'll maybe look at another video, see the amount of cave nightshade and phoenix to bring. I just want to like be sure of how many I should bring, and then we'll go from there. Alright, catch you soon. Oh my god, I forgot to turn on the recording. I died, and yeah. So I will need to withdraw some money from my kingdom in order to pay the death fee, I guess. And you know what sucks is I wanted to review the footage of how I died, but because I didn't take the footage, it's just, yeah, I can't even review why I died. I feel like I ate the nightshade a little bit too early. If I can't get it this time, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with the other method, the stacked nightshade, because when you have the stacked nightshade, then you can you have so much more flexibility. Ah, man, that was so close, dude. I gotta get out of here. Oh, that was so close. If I had one more manta ray, that would have been perfect, but yeah. That was really close. But I think we can do it. One more manta ray should be doable. Alright, I'm gonna come back in a sec. This would be so much easier with the stackable nightshade. Maybe I should just wait, but yeah, I don't know. I should technically just wait, but it works here, but then when you're there, it doesn't work. What? Why does it do that? Is it because of a PvP world thing? I don't know. Alright, let's hope this is it. Oh, I gotta get out of here. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I don't know why my rock cake wasn't procking. It was so weird. So I think this is a sign. I am going to just take a break, and there's no point in sweating it. So, I mean, I don't know why I'm trying so hard to just do it with 8 nightshades. You don't really need to. You can just get the nightshades from the belladonna patch, and we'll figure out then. Alright, we're back, and so we were doing sote. We wanted to get some nightshades, right? So, oh, what? That might not be enough. Okay, so this inventory should be stuff, right? Like we got 11 P-necks. Alright, let's do it. Oh man, there was a person there. There was a person in the PvP world. Oh my god, what the hell, dude? What the fuck? Are you kidding me? No way. I totally healed that, man. Or did I not wear a P-neck? I don't think I wore a P-neck. I think I forgot to wear a P-neck there. Let me just quickly take a look. Yeah, I think I forgot to wear a P-neck there. And you know what sucked? Like, when she split up, I hit her pretty hard, but she split up and that damage didn't count, and then, yeah, that really flustered me. Like, I thought the fight was over. Alright, this is gonna be like a rage inventory try. It's not gonna go well. Hopefully it goes well, but I don't know. Alright, this try is gonna be pretty crappy, but hopefully I'll teleport out if I have to leave. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Don't have supplies. Gotta get out of here. Yeah, we're gonna have to just wait another 5 hours. It is what it is. Alright, I guess I'll see you guys in 5 hours. Take care. Bye. Alright, we're back, and we can harvest this guy. See how much we get. Oh wait, what happened? Oh my god, I can't harvest this. I might need a few more death runes though. And I have like no money. We'll have to go get some from the kingdom. Kingdom is at unoptimal levels of coins. Really need to top that up. Just a little bit scared about my knives running out. I have to make sure I wear my Avas. That is something to be careful of. I really should have used this from the beginning. Stackable Nightshade. It was like, there was no reason to like try to gamble on the DPS and have the fight be so close. Like, yeah, absolutely no reason to do that. I remember like this dense forest. I would love going through the dense forest as a kid because I know the other obstacles were such shit. Like you would always get damaged by the other obstacles, right? So whenever I would see like the dense forest obstacle, I would go like, thank God. Feels so good to go through that. Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hey, let's go. That was like very easy. That run was like really smooth. The DPS was just insane. For a second, I got scared at how long it took to load this screen. It was like black for a bit because remember in Monkey Madness, we could not do that boss in a PvP world. I'm like, oh my god. Hopefully that isn't the case here, but we should have absolutely used the stackable Nightshade. It was so free. But anyway, it's a really bittersweet kind of ending because if you read the dialogue, she's very conflicted. She's like a very, like, even though the fragment was of darkness, um, yeah, you kind of feel for her when you read the dialogue. Interesting. So actually, they're gonna reorganize their kind of ruling dynamics rather than have one king. They'll have the 8 um, elves from each clan in like a council situation, which is really cool. All right, so we're entering Prif for the first time. Let's go. Oh, and Alina has decided to live in Prif. She's gonna move out from East Ardone. Let's go, baby. Song of the Elves, unfortunately pretty dang late on the account. I could have totally done it within 37 days, but yeah. Very eager and incorrect choices with the inventory. Alright, so first things first, let's get out of this world. And secondly, what I would like to do immediately is I need to start the gauntlet because our whatchamacallit, kingdom is at unoptimal levels. So if your kingdom is below 750k, you are getting unoptimal amounts of resources. Basically, you never want your kingdom to be lower than 750k. So we gotta like pad up the kingdom's reserves, I guess. And we gotta do a little bit of gauntlet for that. It's never dipped below 750k, I don't think. Ever since day 4 on this account, I got the kingdom at day 4, and then I don't think ever since then it dipped below 750k. If it did dip, it was because I was forgetful and I had the money to upkeep it. In this moment, I don't have the money to like upkeep it. I actually had to let it dip for like real, but it's never dipped below 750k all from this entire time. So I really want to get it back up. So I'll have to look for the bear because we absolutely cannot use range here. Hey, let's go. Let's go. First CG completion, or I mean first regular one. And we could use the rubies actually, because we're gonna need rubies to build the Dixite pennant, Mountain Dixite pennant, right? So nice. Let's try corrupted. I'm really gonna make sure that I don't build the range weapon, because my muscle memory definitely goes towards that. Oh boy, got stacked. Damn, that sucks. I didn't know they lasted that long. Damn. Unfortunate. Hey, let's go. First completion. Oh my god. 11 minutes, really? That was terrible. Okay. Alright, so the grind kind of begins. Alright, so actually, I'm gonna end the episode here. We did the elf quests, and we did one CG run in this episode. We didn't do a whole lot, but I anticipate the length of the episode will be long because I tend to speak out the quests, right? So I think, given I narrate them a little bit, it'll be, the video length will be too long at this point. It also marks a good spot to end because we're officially done with Season 2. For the one person that's following along, we are in Season 2 of this. We were in Season 2 of this account, which was the mid game. We are now officially in the late game. Mid game is behind us. We're going to be grabbing Bofa, and then we're pushing into late game. it's going to correspond again with the GitHub guide I'm writing. And late game isn't to be confused with end game, by the way. End game is way down the line. So there's going to be 4 seasons. We are now in season 3. We've completed season 2. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be grinding this a little bit. I'm also going to pad my kingdom up, get the resources there back to 750k, and then I'm gonna nestle myself into this little comfy grind here. So as the money flows in from CG, depending on how bored I am with CG, I will convert that money into planks. I will of course upkeep my farm runs, dailies, and that sort of thing. I'm gonna convert that to planks. We'll do some mahogany homes. We may do a little bit of sandstone mining because we do need sand for crafting. We can do this in parallel. It's like CG isn't like a showstopper to this. We can also do a little bit of herblore training and mixology. We can also do Vedion for a little bit. We can absolutely do Vedion while we do this CG grind in parallel to break things up. So it's not like, this is a blocker to anything else here. So I can definitely, to keep myself a little bit sane, I will do this kind of rotation. Alright, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.